Today we are making fresh and delicious at-home Krispy Kreme donuts. I am so excited to share this recipe with you, and you can best believe that we are going to be eating some hot, fresh donuts in this house today. So grab your ingredients and let's get started. All right, so I've got my warm milk here. You want it to be 110 degrees, or if you stick your finger in it, it should be warmer than your body temperature. You don't want it boiling or too hot, but you don't want it too cold or else it won't help the yeast. Now, technically, because I'm using quick instant yeast. Since I'm using quick rise instant yeast, I could have just put it right in here, but my go-to hack is always to bloom it in your liquid and make sure it's always warm. Whether it's gonna be a bread recipe with water or milk, you want it to be warm, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I always bloom my yeast because then that way you know you're not going through the whole process, and if you have old yeast, this will be the sign to tell you if it's ready to go or not. And we will show you it's going to be all nice and bubbly and foamy. That's what you're looking for. So if you're using traditional yeast, you will want to do this step anyways, but with instant yeast, because it is instant, you can just add it right to the dry ingredients, but I like to do this step. I give it a little bit of a jiggle in the warm liquid. In the bowl of my stand mixer, I've got my all-purpose flour and my sugar along with my salt. I'm gonna go ahead and crack my 2 eggs in there. Then I'm going to put my melted butter. Make sure you don't lose any of it, and I can already start smelling the yeast, and that is a great sign as well. If you're at home baking, if you can smell it, that's already a good sign because you know it's not old. I just like to add a little bit of vanilla to my dough, and we're pretty much ready to go. We're just gonna wait a couple of minutes and then we'll show you what it looks like when it's done mixing. My dough came out so beautifully, so I just have it on a lightly floured surface. On the side, I have a sprayed with non-stick cooking spray, a large bowl that we're gonna let the dough proof in. So it's going to be tacky. We don't want it to be sticky, and I don't want too much extra flour. So once it's not sticking to your work surface, we'll just give it a couple of kneads. It should be nice and soft and delicious. I like to kind of throw it down on my surface and give it an old smack, and if it leaves your handprint slightly, then you know it's good to go. So I go face down in my bowl, and then I get it all coated so that nothing sticks. And then I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap. It needs to rest for about an hour, hour and a half. I put it in my microwave with the microwave turned off. It is a draft-free space, and it tends to be pretty warm after you've kind of microwaved your milk and your butter, so it tends to already be a pretty warm spot. So once it doubles in size, we will show you how to cut and fry up your Krispy Kreme donuts. All right, so our donut dough has doubled in size. It's been about an hour now, and I kept it in a warm spot. So now we are ready to roll out and cut our donuts. On the side, you'll want a large baking sheet with parchment paper. We're going to cover them with a tea towel after because they just have to do a second rise. But we're going to flop this out. You shouldn't need a floured work surface. But if it's being a little sticky on you, or if you're finding it to be a little hard to roll out, then you can have a little flour. I'm not going to roll this out too much, because I want nice lift in my donuts. But I just have a large round cutter and then a smaller one to go inside. If you were filling these donuts, let's say a jelly fill, then you would just need the one large cutter. We're not gonna put the hole in there. But for these ones, we are going to, and we can most definitely make some cinnamon sugar donut holes, which we are going to do as well. That's my favorite thing to do with donut holes. All right, so now I'm just going to cut out my donuts. You want to make sure that they're nice and close together so that you get as many, because this isn't really, for donut holes, you can definitely roll it, but it's not really you want it to be super light and fluffy, and so re-roll doesn't really give you that much. But for donut holes, you can most definitely, so then you're not wasting all the dough. So I try and get them as close as possible. Right, see, and then these little bits, I just make extra donut holes out of them, and we'll put them off to the side. There we go. We don't want the donuts to stick, so just a little flour on the parchment paper. And these are gonna proof for about 20 to 30 minutes. And in the meantime, you can get a large stock pot with some vegetable oil and bring that up to temp. Now, if you have a candy thermometer, that would be great. I don't, I just use a regular cooking thermometer. You wanna come to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're looking for the oil to be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're almost there, we're about 10 degrees away. And
we cooking donuts.
We are cooking donuts, so they're ready to go. You can see here if I poke, it will come back, but not all the way. So we're ready to go. They've kind of doubled in size a bit. And I'm gonna start with my donut holes. That way, you know, I don't ruin it. This is kind of, you test it first, and it's easy to start with the ones that you don't really care about. And just drop those in there. And they're gonna start going, and as you fry, you'll need to kind of adjust your temperature, so just watch it. And these will begin to puff up. These ones too, I have chopsticks on the side. I won't really use those for the donut holes because they'll just kind of flip and do their thing, but I don't want to overcrowd too much, so I'm going to do these in 2 batches here. Move them around, and if you are young, definitely have a parent help you with this part because you are working with hot oil. And as you see, I like to use a large heavy bottom stock pot, and I don't fill it up all the way, and that's why I use this kind of pot, because then it will help me from injuring myself from any oil splatters, because I've got quite a bit of clearance here.
Hey broski, you want to move that spatula of yours?
Then once any are done, I just kind of use a slotted spoon, and then they go right on to the paper towel. See how cute they are? I love homemade donuts. There we go, our first batch is already done. Sugaring, but my extra set of hands is holding you. So I am a little bit of multitasking here. Just nice. Now we're gonna start on the big guys here. So same kind of thing. What we're gonna do though is the side that was up, we're going to put it down in the oil and just gently drop them. 3, 4 at a time. I don't want them to be crowded, so I've got my chopsticks here, because once a couple minutes goes by, you'll start to see them golden on the side, and then you'll know when to flip. The chopsticks are the easiest thing because obviously there's a hole, so it's easier to get at. Ready to flip. Beautiful golden color. That's what we're looking for. Now I'm going to turn it down just a tad. I want to make sure everybody gets room here to play. And sometimes I just use the chopsticks to kind of press down, because you'll kind of get that ring in the middle, but I find that's like super classic donut look. And I like the look of that, so I'll show you the other side. See how nice and golden we are? So now we're ready to take these out. Got me!
Don't you know the layaway rule?
It got me!
Lay away.
Woo! We'll take all the super round ones for the photos.
I say I'm about to take me one of these.
We're gonna take a little bit more than one.
Give me one of these guys right over here. Oh yeah.
That's so good. All right, so our donuts are all finished. No, okay. Gross. All right, so our donuts are finished cooking. Now, are they cooking, frying? They're all fried up. All right. All right,
just
so
glaze them.
our donuts are all fried up. Now it's time to make the Krispy Kreme glaze. So I've got 1 cup of melted unsalted butter. I'm adding to that 1.5 cups of icing sugar. And I've got some vanilla bean paste because we need to elevate these. They're gonna be better than Krispy Kreme. So we've got some vanilla bean paste. And then some heavy cream on the side if we need to thin it out. So nice little teaspoon, a tablespoon of vanilla. And I'm just going to mix this with a fork. And just take your time. Just gonna whisk in the cream. We want it to be a nice, thin glaze consistency. You want it to be pretty thin. So we're in nice warm donuts, and then we're back on our tray. Don't be shy with the glaze. And back on. You want to do these while they're warm. So the glaze just, oh, look at the beautiful shine that it gives. Is there anything sexier than a glazed donut? Like, I don't know.
Hey, found it.
Found it, noggin.
Found it.
See ya. All right, let's go. I need some donuts in my mouth. All right, here are the gorgeous donuts that we made today. We got some cinnamon sugar donut holes. We've got some mock-ups of Krispy Kreme. Oh, the delicious donut that it is. And I even had some extra cream cheese glaze that I glazed a couple extra. So I'm gonna double the glaze recipe that I use, and that will do all of your donuts and even some of your donut holes if you want to. Do you see this gorgeousness? There we go, new sentence. Oh, okay. Oh, spot on. Do you see the texture?
Sweet. Totally.
Is there ever such a thing as too much glaze? But please, if you make them this weekend, share a photo with me on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you social media. I'm always on Instagram stories showing you what I'm doing each day. So hop on over there. It's a lot of fun. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you never miss a new video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.